Whoa.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was a
Welcome
quick
to the
change.
live stream, folks.
Getting right into it.
Welcome to the live stream. It is Trek Tuesdays, and we are here to watch 2 more episodes of The Next Generation. Tonight is Datalore and Angel One. I know what Datalore is. I'm going to turn the space heater off. Holy crap. I don't know what Angel One is. I'm excited about them both. But first, this is my first time seeing John.
That's because you haven't seen them.
oh dear.
No, Datalore is a great episode. Angel One, yeah, it's an episode.
Right. This is my first time seeing John since Section 31 came out, so I wanted to go ahead and get his thoughts on it.
You sure?
Not really, but it's all right.
No, it's fine. No, yeah, no. Thank you for the break that we took last week. I know it ended up working out great for both of us, but I appreciate that. That it helped me out quite a bit. We are on day 28 of illness in our household, one way or the other. Seems like everybody's gotten something the entire month since the beginning of 2025. Happy New Year, everybody. And to that end, I was a little under the weather last week. As I said, it worked out for you. You said so, it was good. But yeah, we got to watch Section 31 over the weekend. Visually, it was awesome. And while I don't know too many people in the industry that actually worked on this film directly, I know enough people in the industry that do visual and special effects and so forth. The costumes were fantastic. The mech suit that Zeph had was really awesome. There were quite a few things that were very, very cool tech wise. So I definitely, big kudos to all of the companies that were hired to do work on this show. Visually speaking, there were parts that were just stunning and really, really nice. Story wise, this okay. So here's what I'm going to say. Was this a great hour and a half Star Trek movie? No, not in any way, shape, or form. I honestly think that if this had been a full season 10 episode show,
it would have been outstanding.
It would have worked. It was not bad. Michelle Yeoh was fantastic. The action was awesome. Her acting was very, very good. And everybody's was. I liked a lot of the characters quite a bit. Yep, that guy.
Sam Richardson.
Yes, Sam Richardson. I was very unsure about his character just because Sam Richardson plays Sam Richardson in every show. I mean, he doesn't do too many different variations on a theme, so to speak. But his character worked out very well in the show, yep. And he offered that bit of levity that there would have been none of in this show had it not been for him. And that's good because you needed a laugh. You needed to have moments of lightness. So, I mean, I try not to come down too hard on any show because time and again, I've had shows that I thought, oh my gosh, this is just horrible. This is not good Trek. This is not good anything. And then years later, we come back to it and go, wow, this wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Right.
But it was disappointing. I think they tried too hard to distance from what Trek is. Honestly, I think a lot of people who have been out there blasting it and getting it an 18% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, would have been very, very different had there been a single person in a Starfleet uniform or any Starfleet tech that was recognizable. If you had any of them using, either the Star Trek III phaser Mark II, or the Star Trek V and VI combat phaser, that that was mostly seen.
As John digs into his utility belt and vanishes into the night.
If we'd had one person using one of these, the Star Trek VI, Star Trek V, Star Trek VI, that what they were calling like the commando phaser, the combat phaser. It was a take on the Star Trek, the original TV show phaser, and the one from Star Trek III that was similar to this one, but didn't have this, this combat feel to it. If you'd had one person using one of these, you probably would have gotten, maybe a quarter of the audience engaged. There was nothing beyond saying the character's name was Rachel Garrett, and unfortunately, there are too many people in Trek that don't know who that is.
Right.
And the occasional dropping the word Federation or Starfleet was not enough. There had to be some connective tissue there somewhere. And don't get me wrong; they had a lot of Easter eggs. Having a character from Sharon, the
black and white,
the host person who was the black on one side, white on the other side, that was a great, little Easter egg that didn't need to be explained and was there for people who have been long-term fans to go, oh, what a cool thought to throw that person in here. But other than that, and honestly, one of the best parts of it for me was when they showed the map at the beginning and they had all these names of different planets or star systems. They had Maxia. We just talked about that a couple of weeks ago here because it's where the Battle of Maxia, when the Stargazer was lost, they had that show up on a map. See, that was awesome. But
I saw that map and I was like, John is having the time of his life right now. Like, he's going to pause it and you just can be like, hit play.
We were actually at our friend's house, so I didn't get a chance to do that. But it was big enough on the screen that I was able to, and that was great. But there, so not enough connective tissue. And honestly, at one point I see Rachel Garrett running with a phaser, and it actually looked like, and I don't have it right here, but the Star Trek motion picture Star Trek II phaser that was just kind of gray and very sleek. It looked a little like that, but I couldn't see it close enough to tell. But all the tech was either way too different, like they had tricorders, but the tricorders looked like phones that were being held sideways, and had the sound effect of the first and second season Next Generation tricorders, which would have been 70 some years out of, so 50 to 60 years out of time. So, I mean, not enough connective tissue, and a couple of too many plot holes. I loved having Jamie Lee Curtis show up. It sounded like her voice at the beginning, and when she shows up at the end, it was like, oh my God, that's amazing. But why is it Control? Control was supposed to have self-destructed, and so I understand. Yeah, Control wouldn't still be necessarily the same, but they needed to explain why Section 31 was being run by Control, 30 to 40 years after it was supposed to have been done away with in Discovery.
This is actually 70 years, because Discovery is about 5 years before Kirk. He's in the 2260s.
Oh, yeah.
In the 2320s.
Also, and I don't understand this because I even saw somebody talk about it in a behind the scenes thing on it. The start date at the beginning was a 4-digit start date with the dot. It was 12 something something dot something something. Yeah. They were already in the 3s in TOS. By the movie, they were at, depending on the movie, between like 5 and 8 as the leading number. So, and by Next Generation, they're at 5 digits before the dot. So even that didn't line up properly.
Like I said, I just wanted to give you a moment to kind of give your thoughts on it because you weren't able to.
An hour and a half later.
Yeah, so it's all good. So 10 minutes. And just a snapshot of my thoughts, kind of tagging onto yours. I agree with you. I loved whoever's doing the costumes. Just give them all the money. The settings were awesome. Each of the ships looked lived in. The station was a standout. I thought that was really cool. Sorry, the Starship Station was a standout.
Yeah, that was.
I think that had it not been somebody of the caliber of Michelle Yeoh, supported by people like Sam Richardson, and I don't know her name, but the chick who plays Rachel Garrett, I knew her from The Magicians as well.
Oh, cool. I didn't.
I think that it would have landed a lot harder, in a not great way. But Academy Award winner Michelle Yeoh, and that's kind of where we're at. The flaws I found, the story was very like, here we go, back and forth for me. And I found that was kind of emblematic of having been trunicated down. Basically, it's like they took 8 or 10 episodes and they boiled it down to its various component parts. And while the component parts individually are really cool, like the whole chase sequence in the mag rail area, that's a cool set piece. The lore we get from the Terran Empire and the advancement of a new empress or emperor, awesome. Any of those things
that actually
are
worked
cool,
for me.
but the connective tissue, I think, was where the failure is.
It kind of works
puts us farther down on the list for me.
Even the way they chose the emperor or empress, up until now, you'd seen the emperor become just the person who had executed their direct competition or the person above them. The whole idea that they had a group of people that were vying for it and, making it like a college class, one of you is going to graduate, the rest of you fail kind of thing.
There's a book I have that I think I might have lent to our friend Jason called Fourth Wing. And it's about...
You don't have.
Correct. I own it. And it's basically Harry Potter, but instead of wizards, they're dragon riders.
Okay.
So it's a school where all these teenagers show up to ride dragons. And it's basically Hunger Games meets dragon riding meets Harry Potter. The book's title is literally Fourth Wing, Fly or Die.
Oh, cool.
Because if you don't learn how to ride the dragon, it eats you. And that's kind of that, and Hunger Games is definitely the vibes I got from that. Like I literally expected them to be like, "Go Pan Am." I feel like somebody went to their universe and left behind a copy of the Hunger Games, and the first emperor was like, "This is brilliant."
You mentioned that it seemed like things were cramped, were kind of weirdly condensed. I did read something that apparently because it had the the 3 parts that they'd come up with the title on the screen.
Yes,
those
episode titles.
Those would have been the episode titles and would have been where the episodes fell, which gives you an idea of how much they had to really condense things to make it actually happen.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I really would have loved this as a longer running series because it definitely volleyed it up for a part 2. So maybe we'll get some cameos or something in whatever the next, if we ever get a Star Trek Legacy or something like that. Or
I would hope so. I mean, I would love to see a couple of those characters back. I mean, obviously Michelle Yeoh, maybe not as much. The lead man, I found that
Ayla?
very interesting that he was. They
An
didn't
augment.
say Khan, but or Soong or anybody that was associated with the genetics programming, but the fact that they talked about him, or the fact that he talked about it that way, um,
Right.
that would have been great. Another example of you didn't make it Trek enough. I know they were trying to make it different, but if
Well,
you had just said that I was one of Alton Soong's augments that was made, or whichever Soong was in second season of Picard, that would have been a great connection. That would have had people going,
yeah.
oh,
I tend to agree, except I think what they were trying to do was not because we had Khan in the first season of Strange New Worlds. We had, or the
mhm.
first or second, I think first. And we keep getting Brent Spiner back as different versions of the family Bush. Um, I understand them wanting to do something different. My biggest concern is that and I think if you're going to go watch this show, you're probably a Trek fan. But the person who stumbles upon this movie, going, "Oh, this is Star Trek," watches it, and then goes and watches literally anything else, they're not going to get the same
Oh
thing.
yeah, no.
It's not a terrible movie. It's just there are big flaws,
Well,
like
and
anything.
you
It's
know,
like the Solo of Star Trek.
yeah,
Um,
on its own, it's not horrible, but it just doesn't.
right.
And the problem is it started doing the same thing that toward the end of season 2, the whole control thing with the other ships and all the Section 31 stuff. They started going off on such a tangent that was not established lore for Trek. And the problem is this movie followed the tangent and not whereas Discovery and everything else, Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, and everything else has taken a sharp turn back toward established lore. And
Yeah.
you would think they would go, hey, we obviously knew this was the problem. Why did we let that happen?
Well, yeah, I agree. So, like I said, everybody, I just wanted to get John's thoughts. I think from the sound of it, his thoughts are a solid meh. Um, and now we're gonna get to some TNG. So, you ready to roll, John?
I am absolutely ready to roll.
Awesome. Well, I believe my counter says 8. It keeps bouncing back and forth between 6 and 8. So I think there's 8 of you out there watching. If you're out there watching, throw a subscribe, a follow, or whatever it is from
Some just
wherever
don't want
you're
to
at.
admit they're watching.
Well, that's fair. Whether you're on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube on the various channels, we're going to start Datalore right now. So, as always, wrong direction with the finger, Jake. Oh, still wrong direction. Oh God, the title and the timestamp will be there in the picture. So if you do get off, that's a phrasing. You could just wait. I'm gonna have the timestamp come up every now and then. You can link back up with us. So go ahead and pull up your Paramount Plus, queue up episode 13 of season 1, Datalore, and queue it up for 0, and we'll go in just a few seconds. Do you have a visitor, John?
I have a daughter. I've got several daughters, but I have
All
one in particular at the moment that's here
right,
nearby.
we're gonna get rolling. Sorry. It's all right.
He just yelled, "It's all right." I can't see it, by the way.
Oh, right. I need to share you my screen. Sorry, folks. Please hold while
This is what I get for talking too long about the movie. I lose privilege of actually watching. I've got to guess.
All right, you good?
I'm good.
All right.
They couldn't decide who's gonna stand up, so they both stood up and both walked up.
Right?
Fun little thing to know. Anytime you saw them like that, Patrick Stewart was standing on a banana crate. The original story outline for this was called Apocalypse Anon.
Oh, what?
Apocalypse Anon, like anonymous.
Oh. This makes my brain hurt, John.
Wow.
Wait, you can just say, nah, I'm good?
Apparently.
That whole moment was just awkward.
Not to mention, yet once again, they're back to testing new phrases for standard things. Go into close parking orbit.
Tickety tappity, tickety tappity, tickety tappity, tickety tap. Did you mean to send that 3 times?
I only sent it once.
It popped it in here 3 times.
Comments will be posted in multiple channels.
Oh, it posted it to all 3 YouTube channels.
Ah, now we're in close parking orbit. Whatever that means.
Beep, beep.
Yeah,
beep.
exactly. They were still doing the flourishes of the orchestra as they're trying to learn everything. So apparently the stand-in for Brent Spiner annoyed Brent Spiner so much. He was acting too much like an android and not acting like Data does. Like he was like doing the robot.
Huh.
And was never used after this episode.
Wow. Get demonetized.
Oh, I never knew this. So in the early version of the story, the Apocalypse Anon, the Enterprise D was on a rescue mission to a planet. Part of the away team was a female Starfleet officer with the name Minuet, who fell in love with Commander Riker. Riker was in shock to learn that Minuet was an android. That is interesting because we will soon, in a few episodes, we will be meeting Minuet, but as a hologram that was programmed by the Binars to keep Riker busy while they tried to steal the Enterprise.
Huh.
Hmm.
Huh.
How funny. I made the reference of the Stardate being weird in the Section 31 movie. And apparently just now, Riker says Stardate 4124. It was supposed to be 41242. Should have been 5 digits. Hey, Planet Hell. We've seen this exact set.
Yeah. That's an oddly right, sharp angled rock.
Yeah, I know. Kind of strange that she's talking about his birthplace after checking out his ability to be fully functional just a few episodes ago.
Yep.
How convenient. Which apparently he has no idea of.
If a door
Hey.
makes that sound, you get up out of here. You know, that's next on my list for. I just finished binging Voyager. Now, I binged Voyager on my own, but we're doing this on the channel with TNG.
I was going to say, this is not Voyager.
Right. And I might do DS9 next.
You should.
Yeah. There are chunks of it that I know are pretty good.
Oh, more than chunks.
I have a to tell.
One of these days, I want to find that grating. It's used in everything from the transporter rooms to the legs of tables on the Enterprise. It was apparently some sort of plastic pallet that they used for a purpose. Hey,
Oh, yeah,
look,
it's
it's
those
the
science
Phillips.
bars.
Yeah, the Phillips bars. Basically, everything you see in this room had been used in Knight Rider, Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica, anything sci-fi in the 80s used all this stuff.
I don't think so. That looks like a cataclysm.
Mm.
Yeah. Should beat the Borg on replicated coffee. Yeah, Janeway is my favorite captain, and Intrepid would definitely be my vessel of choice. What about
Dude,
you,
I told
John?
you this
If they
isn't
offered
Voyager.
you,
What are you talking about? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm going to mute you. If Starfleet said, "Hey, we want you to be a captain. We're going to offer you any vessel," what would you choose? What class would you choose?
Mm.
This question's for you two, Forge. What would you choose? But that's not awkward at all. Like a face condom.
And Yar wants Data to come down and test a couple of them.
I bet. Refit the Enterprise. Yeah, I feel that. It's pretty.
Yeah, the movie Enterprise refit is still my favorite. Galaxy class. Hey, it's Data's butt.
Brent Spina's booty. The terrible, terrible makeup of head. Oh, look, it's the title, or it's the screenshot. Yes, but a little bit of an asshole. The refit's the one that was blown up in number 3, right?
Star Trek 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because what could possibly go wrong?
What captain would you serve under, John?
Oh, Picard. I'd have a really hard time with that. I could do just about any one from any of the shows.
I gotcha.
Janeway or Picard probably be my favorite, but honestly, Riker would be right up there. And even
he seems super chill.
Yeah.
So
even
I don't understand why they're like struggling to put this thing together. It has Peg and hole.
Hey, look.
Put Peg in hole.
It's Chief Argyle.
Oh,
the only engineer other than Geordi that got shown twice.
My knee jerk, because I love her, is Janeway. But the Voyager blows up every other Tuesday. So I wouldn't want to be on the wrong Voyager and not make it home.
You got a fair point.
So I would be stuck between Picard and Kirk.
Hey, here you go.
Cisco's in the middle of a war.
All that equipment you just saw.
And Archer didn't have replicators.
Yeah, true.
I got you. Janeway and Picard.
All that equipment in Soong's office there.
Yeah.
Rented from Modern Props in Hollywood.
Oh, cool.
And it showed up in everything from the series, to The Last Starfighter, to Buck Rogers, to Kit, or to Knight Rider.
It's this right here. If Janeway is my favorite captain, I would never willfully elect to serve on Voyager. That right there. Because if I had the knowledge of the outside world, as soon as it began, I'd be like, I'm going to get erased by time. I'm going to be erased. That's honestly brilliant. He's not wrong.
No, it's one of the best lines out of this episode. I was going to say.
Nastasha. It's crazy to watch. I mean, I know this is Oh man, this particular episode is like 6 years ahead of the start of Voyager, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Forge. Appreciate it. Um, it's crazy to see the difference both in the technology, like how cinematography advanced, but
Mm.
also in the way that it's acted. Like Voyager had a lot more. Oh, if I didn't know what was happening right now, um,
Proctology exam.
it's what was I saying? Oh, the way Voyager is filmed, because the sets were nicer, they were bigger. I mean, they still do these close-up shots where the Starfleet officers stand so uncomfortably close because of television, but they still had a
So,
lot.
interesting thing for you to notice next time you get a chance. Um, at the beginning of season 3 of Next Gen, they hired a new lighting guy. And one of the biggest issues in season 1 is how harsh the lighting is and directional it is. Even here, look at how many shadows you get. Starting in season 3, there are no shadows on anything. They light it from so many different angles that it looks much smoother.
Okay, so our buddy Nathan just got to the best of both worlds 1 and 2.
Mm.
Yeah,
See, look, all those shadows on the back wall because they're
yeah.
directional lighting, which is also putting a flare on his forehead, on Picard's head.
Oh yeah.
That shot of Data was also used in pre-production material when they did teasers to send out to people. That
Are his eyes different?
Mm-mm. Now, I also have an issue with that. He just made a big deal about smoothing over how they were talking to Data, but then he called Lore it.
Right.
Oh, and there we
Oh,
go.
Data's kind of a jerk.
I was going to say, they got to make him an acting ensign.
So does he.
Huh.
I wonder how long Data serves in Starfleet after Picard season 3, or if he even goes back to Starfleet.
Good question. He could end up going to Oxford like he did in the end of Next
Best of
Generation.
both for all good things. Yeah, I kind of wonder if he'll go live with shoot, I don't remember her name. The first season planet with all the robots.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, it's a meme.
Their faces even look different.
There you go, right there, with the finger pointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brent Spiner was amazing at making sure that he differentiated. In fact, I think I even remember reading that here. Always love that. So, director Rob Bowman commented on Brent Spiner's performance. His ability to delineate these two brothers, I felt like I had the best seat in the house, seeing action and just watching him do it.
Mm-hmm.
Giggling at Brent's dexterity, he was just unbelievable because he did make sure to differentiate how they were standing, how they were reacting to things.
Hmm. It's okay. Give it about 30 years. Shouldn't say it. Ugh.
Make sure to take off all of the safeties so that he can do anything he wants.
Right? Oh, look, a Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Same ship flashing across each time.
The movie version also showed up along with the Excelsior. Sad thing is, Lore is one of the most fleshed out characters by this point in the series.
Oh. So is Soon dead?
Hmm? At this point, it is believed that Soong is has passed.
Okay. Hmm. Yo, this 90s music is.
By the way, this set is the movie Quarters for Kirk. If you remember in the motion picture or in Star Trek 2, there was a smoke colored glass door that would close. It's over behind where Data is there, where that mirror is.
What a dick.
Ah, the convenient facial tick.
Uh-huh. Every good doppelganger episode has one.
They'd already done the goatee, so
Botox. It's space Botox.
from 1987, when I first saw this, I wanted drawers that you just press a button and it would slide out, just like that one did a minute ago.
Yep. Mom doctor. That's some Top Gun language.
Isn't it? I will make it very clear.
Oh.
This is not how the crystalline looked in the original. They completely redid the model of the crystalline entity.
Makes sense.
After making him an acting ensign,
I feel like they're
it's like
about 2 scenes away at all times from bending this boy over the rail on the bridge and whooping him.
it was an interesting choice, different lens. So he had a very different. Yeah, his face is shaped a little different.
It looks like the Borg.
Hmm. Riker.
Is this when Wesley should be jumping up and down going, hello? Why? Why?
Whoops. that shows up in the blooper reel.
Aw.
Oh.
I wish you were dead, basically, is what he just said. What a dick.
Mm-hmm. I do love that waving thing,
Right.
wagging the phaser.
She's all fire.
Yeah, I know. That is kind of cool. Seeing that phaser
That was
blast
really
disappear.
cool.
So there's going to be something interesting you're going to see here in a moment.
What?
Well,
Go to sick bay at once.
her sleeve is singed.
Oh, all right.
It's a blink
I
and you
thought he
miss
was.
the thing.
I thought he was just like, all right, your son's good. Get back to the kitchen, woman.
Yar is going to wave
Wow.
at us as we walk out, as they walk out here. Oh no, maybe it wasn't this episode.
Wow. Okay. Let's queue up the next episode. Wow, the computer is having a big old stroke. All right.
Is this your new one or the old one?
Oh, this is still the old one. The new one didn't get here for a couple more weeks, but it's a beast.
Oh, okay.
All right. What did he do to Lore? Because Lore shows back up a whole bunch.
Oh yeah, they beamed him out.
So he's
Yeah, I
just
think it's
floating in
really
space.
odd that Wesley says he's gone permanently when they didn't. I mean, there's a huge assumption there that that by beaming him out, the crystalline entity would have taken him over. But
Gotcha. Okay. Well, the next episode, folks, is Angel One. Go ahead and queue it up. We'll start at 0. I'm going to run to the restroom, John, so I will be right back.
Sounds good.
So we are. Let's see. Do I have a countdown in here? I do not. That's irritating. We'll just go ahead and take 5, and I'll be right back.
Woohoo!
All right, John, ready for episode 14? 14.
Sure.
Okay. Let's get rolling. Hey, John, we're getting a lot of background noise.
There we go.
Awesome.
Ah,
Since you're our token lady, let's let you do the lady things.
which on this planet is everything.
Right? Hmm.
Uh-huh. Like this whole episode. A very interesting concept of a matriarchal society.
Death by snoo snoo.
Huh.
Boldly. I'm sorry, but this is still the best Trek music.
Oh yeah. Agreed. And it's really interesting if you want to really geek out on it. Is to go through and listen to the different variations of it.
Yeah.
To listen to the motion picture, to listen to how it was adjusted and changed around a little bit for this. But then in Star Trek 5, and then again in First Contact, and all the rest of the TNG movies, it's the same theme that they use, but it's orchestrated differently each time. Certain parts are kind
The
of
name's on the backside too. I never noticed that.
mm-hmm. Certain instruments and parts are kind of amplified a little bit, and some are muted a little bit at different times.
Is it a candy dish?
Oh, Lord, eye roll line.
Whoa! Dude, foul. Wesley just made a snowball and point blank hucked it in that kid's face.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. I like how she's leading the mission, but definitely in the back.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Huh.
In other words, yes, there are.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, in the background is Patricia McPherson, known much better to most people in the 80s as being Bonnie from Knight Rider, who was in charge of the car. And the lead from the planet, uh, Beata, played by Karen Montgomery, uh, unfortunately passed away in 2015.
Oh.
She died of breast cancer.
Oh.
Whoops.
Man, that melted and
Hit.
soaked in real quick. Star Trek: The Next Generation, where we repeatedly abuse a teenager for our benefit.
Yeah.
And Data gasses
That was
himself.
great.
Three decades and he hadn't seen perfume. Um, Because if they smell like crap, it ain't gonna be good. That dude's got a butt.
This is the one place where Troy has the advantage to look like she's the one in charge because they doll her up in this special uniform so much that she looks different from everybody else. So inadvertently, misogyny helped.
How? Doesn't the transporter scan for pathogens and virus agents and stuff?
Yes, but apparently not in the holodeck.
Right, but if they find out somebody has it, why don't they just put them through the transporter real quick and, rotor the virus out of them? What's up, Neotoxin? How you doing, sir?
By the way, this was the first time the Romulans were mentioned in Next Generation.
Gotcha. That guy looks excited about that.
Not those needs.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
I dig it. Did you see this, John?
Uh-huh.
That's awesome. Did you use 5e? This frustrates me because I'm a DM who likes a balance between the RP aspect and the combat aspect. And yes, murder hobos. Oh, kids. Oh, I didn't know there was a system. as he breathes right in your face.
First time we get to see Geordie in charge.
Nice.
Happens again later this season.
He's getting sick too, isn't he?
Yeah.
This is like the third time this season. We're 13 episodes into the first season. Exploding dice, 1 dice per set. That's cool. The World of Darkness is kind of the same way. Well, not 1 dice, but
Watch.
whoa. Like the third time this season, they all get some kind of sickness.
Yep. Yeah, especially after how much they talk about people not getting colds anymore and so forth. And yet
Right, like
it's so clear she doesn't want them to find them. You mean like where they are located?
sometimes I do that for my players. Sometimes I don't, because sometimes I just want them to roll and I tell a story around their roll. But it depends on the play group.
All right, it's getting reverse kirked.
How are they so sure there's no platinum on this planet?
Good point.
Like they could be going to like a iPhone factory or something. Hmm.
Yep. Worf has it.
Jeez.
Not many though.
Right? I mean, it wasn't so much advice as saying, "Don't leave the damn bridge." Oh,
There's your answer. That matte painting is used over and over and over. Even used in on Deep Space Nine, and even in an episode of Voyager.
isn't that your entire function? Let me translate that. Get the fuck out. So has a great butt. Also looks like the crystalline entity. I'll make your insides glow. Yep. I'm glad I'm not Starfleet. I'd be done disintegrated their ass and moved on. Well, she's not social distancing or wearing a mask or anything, so probably not great.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder who else felt the same way and didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Why would Deanna not feel her? I think Deanna's powers work when they want them to and don't when they don't.
Pretty much. Ah.
It's fine.
Whoops.
He was number one-ing.
Ruh-roh.
Well, that might change their mind.
Quite a leap there.
Yeah.
Oh, this scene is also in the blooper reel quite a bit. Those two lines, in fact.
Okay, dude, you're British. You drink British hot tea.
Dun dun dun.
You just smelled it. The little dude just like grinned.
I know you like to hang out with them.
All right. Sorry, my fault. We have a kitten that has hitched a ride into the guinea pig cage.
What?
One of our new cats, a 7-month-old, is fascinated with the guinea pigs.
Nice.
So she breaks in.
Wow. Wow.
I love how the guy just kind of watches from beside him and kind of leans a little bit. Dun, dun, dun. This scene also shows up in the blooper reel. So, of course, on set, it wasn't Brent Spiner saying this. They had somebody else reading it. And the person totally fumbled over Lieutenant Commander Forge. And it caused everybody to start cracking up. You get turned into a late 70s television with static.
Preach.
Yep.
Hmm.
You know, he was thinking, wait, that always worked for Kirk.
Right?
I don't know. If it were me, I wouldn't still be standing there just in case.
Oh, hell no.
Just in case Shorty accidentally set it down and put his hand on it. Yay!
She's like, yeah, but it's good.
Yep. Yeah, you can.
For a man. I would still then offer again and be like, y'all sure you don't want to come back with us?
Yeah. I still don't understand why they really would want to stay that much.
Yeah.
Welcome home.
She's going to meet them there when they've already walked through the entire ship. Make it so.
Oh, you just made a joke that's about to be made.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Notice that the turbo lift didn't close.
Oh, it didn't.
The funny thing is, at the end of the last episode, they said they were in for their computer upgrade, which is a little strange months after it's left space dock.
Right.
At the end of this episode, they said they're going to go check out the Romulans. And the next episode of the series is uh-huh
11001001 and then two
Yep.
short a season.
So the first one,
Oh, it's the one with that admiral. It's old.
Yeah, that's the second one. But the next one is the computer upgrade.
That's too funny. I dig it.
Shot out of order a little bit.
It's TV in the 90s.
Very true.
Oh.
Hi, Jake's Light.
I just whack myself in the face with my light. It's what I do, y'all. All right, John. I like these two episodes. I'm getting a little tired. We're 14 episodes in, and we keep having multiple episodes of all the crew is sick, all the crew is horny, or all the crew is body swapped.
It's amazing. We're 14 episodes in, and somehow there's been 17 episodes with colds.
Right. 14 episodes in and 4 total plots.
Fair enough.
Star Trek, ladies and gentlemen. How did this ignite a fan base?
It gets better.
I
But
know.
no,
I know. I know the first season here is rough.
The most recent episode here, Angel One. I mean, honestly, it's not a great episode.
Right.
It really had the whole misogyny thing in there. Apparently, it was supposed to be an allegory for apartheid.
That makes sense.
But yeah, it feels like they kind of forced the sexuality in it some. Which,
well, this is the first time I think that Riker bangs a character, right?
yes.
Yeah. So yes, they forced sexuality in there. All right, forced something in there.
And Datalore, while it had its issues, again, you have to point that one out for introducing us to lore. No,
And the crystalline entity.
Introducing us to the concept, to the background of something that's going to go all the way through to Picard season 3 as something very, very important. So
cool. We see the crystalline entity again, right?
Yes, there is an episode later on.
Cool. All right. Well, folks, that is our Trek Tuesdays, our watch along. Next week, as we said, will be 1100101, whatever. And what was the other episode?
Too short a season.
Too short a season with the old guy who gets young again. I'm excited for it. We're going to get back to doing these regularly, and we are going to try and push through. I think we're going to go through the end of season 1. We'll probably take a break and do something different for a couple of weeks, and then we'll come back to season 2. But like I said, we're just over halfway done of season 1. We'll see you back next week. I always do that. That is John. I'm Jake. Live long, stay nerdy, y'all.
Bye-bye.